Yo, what's good? What's going on? It's your boy, man. And today we back with another video, man. But today, EA just dropped their 70+ page College Football 26 Dynasty Deep Dive, man. So we got to jump straight into it. Out of all the information that we got dropped on this today, I went ahead and pulled out 5 of my favorite changes. So I'm gonna go ahead and share those with y'all right now. If you enjoyed the video, man, please consider dropping a like and subscribing for more information like this. And let's get straight into the video. So this is in no particular order, man, but I'm just gonna run through a few things. There was a lot of information that was dropped today. Like, EA is pulling out all the stops, and I'm pretty sure there's some honorable mentions. And at the end of the video, I'll give y'all my feel of how I'm really thinking about how everything is gonna turn out, or what we have and don't have after this deep dive. So one of the number one things that I wanted to get into was, man, how they're changing up the coach appearance. Finally, dog, we're able to do a lot more with the coach appearance. So now you can customize your coach in a dynasty mode with a lot more swag, man. They've added a lot more items to like the things you could wear. So if you want to wear like a shirt with cut off sleeves, or you want to wear a hoodie with something over it, like, you can definitely do that. Sport your team and just really personalize your coach to what you really want, instead of having like 2 or 3 options. They even added the option to change the demeanor. So if you one of those fired up coaches that's very emotional, you could do that on the sideline. If you're one of those coaches who's reserved and held back, you could do that on the sideline. If you're one of those coaches who's always in on every moment, leaning in and seeing everything, you can even change your stance of your coach to be one of those coaches who's got his hands on his knees just locked into every play. I think that's a dope change. Moving on to one of my second favorite changes, man, the trophy room. I mean, you talking about everything like bowl game trophies, rivalry game trophies, and if you go to another team, like in the coach carousel or something like that, those trophies are going to carry over. You're going to see everything that you collected, and each one of these trophies are going to have some information on them, like the day the game was played, who it was against, the score, everything, the year, all that's going to be on there. So that's pretty dope. The trophy room finally coming back in College Football 26. Oh my god, I can't believe they bringing this back. But I mean, it deserved to be here. Any feature that was in the previous games, the older games that were a highlight, they have no reason, even if they weren't a highlight, even if they're just a quality of life change, they have no reason to not be in the game, if you ask me. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But the trophy room coming back is definitely a W. It's just one of those things that should have never left. So number 3, man, we got to talk about dev tray upgrades. Like, this is crazy. I'm glad they put this in the game. I'm glad when they try to find things that come from Madden and just didn't rush them in, but made a way to work them into College Football 26. Because I think this is something that should have been there from the jump. But if it wasn't implemented right, and if it was just copy and paste, it could have been a miss. So I'm kind of glad that they waited and implemented the way that they wanted to. But now we got dev trait upgrades, man. And the dev traits that they have are normal, impact, star, and elite. So it looks like the way that they're scaling these, aside from how it works in Madden, you can't just jump from normal to superstar. I mean, you may be able to do that when you go into your dynasty mode. If you want to cheat and change that stuff, hopefully it notifies everybody in the dynasty when you do stuff like that. Maybe you won't even be able to, or that'll be dope. But from how they're explaining it, how it scales, it's going to be a lot more common for like a normal player to go from impact than it is from go from normal to elite, or star to elite. So those things are purely based off of how you perform throughout the season. And it's going to be like a culmination of all your stats at the end of the season is what they're really basing it on, it seems like. Or maybe even throughout the season of how you perform. So if you come in, I say, if you recruit a player or something like that that already has like a star trait, maybe it's a little bit easier for him to hit elite or something like that. I guess we'll find out more about that when the game releases. So number 4, this definitely could be rated as my number 1 change, because I'm always trying to promote having more players in the game any way we can. But crossplay is coming to Dynasty, man. Look, this one goes without saying that this is very important. So there's going to be a members tab now where you can see their username, the team that they're using, and what platform they're on. So that's pretty dope. Definitely something we probably should have had for the first game, but I think a lot of us just gave EA a lot of grace coming into College Football 25, because it was the first iteration of a college football game in years. I mean, we give them a lot of grace, and I just don't see how dynasties having crossplay didn't make it into the game, when I believe crossplay was also in Madden. I could be wrong about that. Yeah, crossplay was in Madden, but not in franchise. So I guess we're going to be having that in franchise now. I don't know if it's cross-gen though. Like, if you're on PS4, can you play with somebody on PS5? I highly doubt it, because those two things are like two totally different games at this point. But it was definitely something we had to have. Like, crossplay is, I mean, in this new generation of game, and I don't see how crossplay wasn't even like something we didn't have off the rip. But hey, glad to see it here. You know, I mean, we can sit and nitpick about anything, but just glad to see it in the game now. And remember, this crossplay is for Xbox and PS5. Still no mention of PC, man. They really trying to keep this game away from the modding community. And number 5 definitely could be number 1 on anybody's list, the Team Builder refresh, man. So it's no longer in beta. They feel like they're confident. They shored up everything they need to make this a full release, man. They feel very confident in what they've done. Of course, we're going to be able to test that out very soon. They've ironed out most of the bugs, and they even said it's up to 2 times faster than it was before. And if y'all know, when y'all used Team Builder last time, it was super slow and super laggy, man. But it looks great now. They give it a little UI refresh or polish, and there's so many more features that they added to it. So now you can also add custom pipelines, man. That's going to be huge. Now, the custom pipelines are kind of wonky. Like, if you're like a team that's in Alaska, it's probably still going to have your pipeline like somewhere wonky. But I mean, knowing that we can have custom pipelines is probably bigger than anything. And here's another dope feature that's coming to Team Builder. You get to choose 5 rivalry teams, man. That's dope. I honestly didn't think that they would give us anywhere near that much, if they gave that to us at all, because I wasn't even thinking about that. The fact that Team Builder don't have rivalry, I was just, you know, happy that we had Team Builder in the game at launch. I gotta give them the props for that we had Team Builder in the first iteration of college football in a long time in this new generation. So that was fire. You can even set and edit, like type out a history of like how the rivalry came about and how long the rivalry's been going. When was the first game? Like, if you want to say the first rivalry game was like in the 1970s or something, I don't know. You could choose that as well. That's pretty dope. And I know for teams like South Carolina and South Carolina State, or South Carolina State and Clemson, you could, those aren't really rivalry games, but you can make them those. If you, let's say you imported South Carolina State, if you created South Carolina State in Team Builder, you could do something like that, even though you're not supposed to make any real teams. That's at least what I heard, but you already know what people are gonna do on this game, man. And also, you got the ability to bring over your teams from College Football 25, which I think is a great feature, man. You're gonna be able to import those same teams that you already spent all that time creating. They're gonna be on the Team Builder site, ready to import in College Football 26. So that's definitely a W for me. And what I was really hoping for wasn't there. Like I said, we're about to get into that now, since this is the last one. So it's gonna be a perfect segue on this last point for the Team Builder refresh. They're adding 3 new generic stadiums. And this is good, because now you know you'll be able to be in high school for your Road to Glory mode. So, you know, back in NCAA 2014, we were able to create a custom high school for our Road to Glory player to play in. So that's pretty dope that you're going to be able to do that again this year, that they're bringing back high school. I guess it was only right. So you're going to be able to use your Team Builder team as your custom high school. So for me specifically, I'm going to be using the high school that I went to, creating that in Team Builder, and importing that to College Football 26 for my Road to Glory player, man. And some of those generic stadiums you're going to be able to use won't have any college team branding. Thank God. That's dope. But we really want a stadium builder, let's be real. And that's gonna bring me into the things that I didn't like. There really isn't too much. I'm really kind of gonna rant more about the Team Builder refresh, which it was good. Like, don't get me wrong, like I love everything that they add to it, but the Team Builder to me was a miss. I'm not gonna lie, we gotta have the stadium builder in the game. It's just like I was talking about earlier when I said we would get to the negatives, man. I just don't understand how any quality of life change or feature that we had in the older games, how they can't come into the new ones. Now, don't get me wrong, man. Like, I know I don't know too much about game development or anything like that, but you mean to tell me something on older architecture, something on older technology can't be replicated and put into a newer game? I mean, theoretically, if you think about it, it could be harder to do that, but I don't know if they're just saying that it's easier or harder. Usually when I think about technology, I'm thinking things are easier to be done, but I don't know, man. Maybe it's just somebody who's just not thinking about bringing those things forward, or maybe there's more important things that they had to get done and they just didn't have time to get it done for this release. I don't know, man, but I think that's definitely another reason why they should look into not releasing a new game every year, but just updating the current game that they have. Especially if we're not going to a new engine, it kind of doesn't make sense to be making a brand new game every year, but that's just me. Another miss with me was definitely the agency on appearances, man. Like, I feel like they should definitely have way more things in the game. I mean, if you look at some of the college players today and you see how they're wearing their equipment, man, you know there's plenty of players who want to have this in the game, which is another reason why the modding community just goes so hard, man. Like, if you look at it, Madden 25 mods, I mean, they got everything you could ever want on college football 26. So that's definitely a miss for me, but it's not enough for me to not want to play the game. Don't get me wrong. Like I would rather have features over equipment, but at the same time, I just don't see how this is that hard to do when you got people who don't get paid to create these games, creating these things when they get off from their 9-to-5 job. I mean, like they're putting it in mods and coding it into your game. So I mean, I don't know, maybe they're a programmer by day, but either way, this isn't their game. It's your game. You're getting paid to add these things to the game. So I don't know. Maybe, like I said, maybe it's something that I'm misunderstanding about game development, but I just feel like those things can be added. So that's definitely a miss for me. And one thing that I don't want to gripe on too much, but like, let's be real, y'all. Some of these features that we're getting are just things that came from the older games. Like the trophy room coming back, I'm ecstatic for that. I love that that's there. But why wasn't that in the game? Like, let's think about it. Like, even if we think about, I don't know what's going to happen with the Road to Glory deep dive, and hopefully we'll be getting that soon, because I'm hearing from other creators like Eurisco. I don't know if y'all know who that is, but I'll have him linked in the description. He knows a little bit more than your average creator that's under 100,000 subscribers. And he was saying that, you know, we're probably going to get some Road to Glory gameplay from like guys like Chris Move, QJB, MMG, and stuff like that, which I'm definitely expecting that. But, you know, I guess we'll see before they get to show their videos or before their embargo gets lifted. We'll get to see maybe a Road to Glory deep dive. But if things like, you know, like passing tests and keeping your grades up in school and stuff like that is not in the game, like the version that they had last year, just clicking buttons and investing points into grades, like that just didn't do it for me. And considering that the older games had us actually taking tests, I just thought that was so cool, man. So I don't know, maybe we'll see it, maybe we won't, but we definitely got to take a wait and see approach to the Road to Glory deep dive. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me, man. I just wanted y'all to see a few things out of that long deep dive today. You could tell that EA is definitely putting a lot of work into making this a more authentic college football experience. And they've done that from everything with the atmosphere, the presentation, and just all the things you're able to customize within your team now, the coaches, adding over 300 coaches to the game. I mean, that's just insane. So I appreciate y'all coming out for this one, man. If you enjoyed this video or found it informational at all, please go ahead and drop a like on the channel and consider subscribing as well. And if you do that, man, you might as well go ahead and hit that notification bell. That way you know when any new news drops for college football 26 or man 26. We will be covering it here on this channel. And I'll see y'all in the next one, man. Y'all have a good one. Peace.